I'm Nanor from Justice Without Borders.
And I'm Karen from Help for Domestic Workers. If you are a domestic worker coming back to Hong Kong and are unsure how COVID-19 affects your travel here, watch this video as we bring you through the process.
What do I need to know and prepare for when I come back to Hong Kong?
There are a few things you will need to know about your departure to Hong Kong, your flight, and your arrival.
What will I need to prepare before departure?
Since the 25th of July, and until further notice, you will need to prepare 4 to 5 documents before flying to Hong Kong. These may be checked before your flight, and you may not be allowed to board if you don't have them.
The first few documents come with the pre-flight COVID-19 test you will have to do. First, the COVID-19 test report. But if the report is not in English or Chinese or does not include all of the necessary information, then 2, you also need a document containing all the relevant information in either English or Chinese. Lastly, you will also need a letter from the relevant government authority showing that the testing venue is recognized by the government.
The 4th document you will need is a booking confirmation for a hotel room in Hong Kong starting from the date of your arrival for not less than 14 days. Lastly, there is an online health and quarantine information declaration you will need to complete and submit on your mobile device before boarding your flight. How do I get these documents?
To get the documents related to COVID testing, go to a government-approved testing venue to take a nucleic acid COVID-19 test. This must be done within 72 hours before your departure.
The test report or the translated document must show that you took a nucleic acid COVID-19 test and that it was done within 72 hours before your flight departure time. It also has to indicate that you are negative for COVID-19.
Do I have to book the hotel on my own?
No, your employer needs to reserve the hotel room from a Hong Kong government-approved list for your specified country for you to undergo the compulsory 14-day quarantine period. Ask your employer for the hotel booking reservation. This is another document you need before boarding your flight. Check that this booking confirmation shows your room reservation in a hotel in Hong Kong for not less than 14 days, starting from the day of your arrival here. This document also needs to be in English or Chinese.
Lastly, note that there is a health and quarantine information declaration form you will need to submit before boarding.
You can find this form online, fill out and submit this form through your mobile device, and ensure that you save the QR code after you submit it.
Do I need to print out all these documents?
Documents in paper or electronic format are both accepted, but we recommend that you print them out in case you run into any technical problems at the airport. Do I need to pay for the cost of taking the COVID-19 test and of the hotel stay for the quarantine?
No. Your employer is responsible for the costs of the COVID-19 test and quarantine accommodation expenses, as well as to provide a food allowance during the quarantine. For your safety, wear a mask for the entirety of your flight.
What happens when I arrive, and what do I have to do?
After arriving Hong Kong, you will go through a temperature screening and also prove that you have submitted the health and quarantine information declaration form.
This is the online form that you would have completed before your flight, where you received a QR code at the end. Show this QR code to the Department of Health staff when you arrive in Hong Kong.
If you have a smartphone, download and activate the Stay Home Safe app. You will be given an electronic wristband that syncs with the app for tracking purposes. You must wear the wristband until the end of your quarantine period. Then, you'll go through the regular process to enter Hong Kong.
You will also be required to go for another COVID-19 test at the temporary specimen collection center in the airport. You will then wait for your test results.
However, if your flight arrives after 12 noon, you will not be able to receive your results on the same day. Instead, you will likely be transferred to a holding center for test results.
If you test positive, you will be sent immediately to the hospital for treatment.
A negative test result will allow you to leave the airport and head directly to your quarantine hotel.
What should I know about my quarantine?
It is compulsory to serve the 14-day quarantine in a hotel and not at your employer's home. Note that you must stay in the hotel room at all times and are not allowed to leave the room or move around the hotel during the entire period. The Hong Kong government may conduct spot checks, call you, and monitor the status of your electronic device to ensure that you are at your quarantine location. Lastly, when does my contract start?
Your contract would likely begin on your first day of work after your quarantine. However, the government encourages domestic workers and employers to have discussions about these arrangements. Employers may not be legally obligated to pay wages during this 14-day period.
That's all for this video. Leave us a comment if you have any questions, and please reach out to us at JWB or help if you need assistance. Thank you for watching.